welcome to Nevermind the Furthermore. Wait a minute, this music isn't right, the scene isn't right. Hang on. That's more like it. And now it's time for the show for all creatives. Nevermind the Furthermore. Your source for conversation, inspiration, and fun. With your host, Nicholas Anthony Tockert. He's an artist, a writer, a swordsman, and a game designer. He knows how to use the sword and axe in historical battles without anybody getting hurt too much. He's also the Manatee Man, master of marketing. And he may even have a guest or two. One thing, though, to be certain. Just don't call him a cryptid. With that, it's about time for the show. So sit back, enjoy, and have some coffee and chat with us.
Good morning, Nevermorians. I'm your host with the most, Mr. Nicholas Anthony Tockert, coming at you over the airways on WNTF, Nevermind the Furthermore. We've got a whole lot coming for your hump day, but before we do, let's pay some bills. Remember, we're brought to you by a generous donation by our corporate sponsor, Joe Bachman Tech Apps, who is doing wonderful things to make basic apps accessible for low-level people like us. So if you have a game app, if you want something to track army building, we're working on. He's working. Oh, Oh God, did I put a mouse in my pocket or what? Joe's working on some amazing stuff that I think he'll be able to port over to other titles. It might be why I suggest such things. I never do anything for just one reason, folks. But support him in his efforts there and his huge efforts over at the IndieCD.org. That's the Independent Creator Directory.org. That was a deliberate drop. We are also made possible by the generous love of my Patreon supporters over at the Historical Fencing Guild, because all the money that comes in to donate, that gets put to the cameras to keep things going there, keeps things going here. And I have a big announcement that will be going out, hopefully, today, if all goes well. Let's just say I'll be watching my porch. And this week has just warped by, and I want to tell y'all happy February. To those of you who may not be keeping sight, we are 2 weeks out from Valentine's Day. So if you're going to order something pleasant for your ladies, now's not a bad time to keep that in mind. So, and for all of you out there looking for love, I hope in the next 2 weeks you find it, it finds you, and it blossoms beautifully in the upcoming spring. Because while we are going through the coldest, darkest part of the Midwest winter, when it's been long enough that all the sane people have their Christmas lights turned off, I have a solar string still up. But we need to be there, be cuddled, be warm for each other in one way or another. Be sure to snuggle up in nice and cozy. Remembering also that my lovely programs are all also made possible by sales of all my books, including Art and Tales Volume 1, the short story compendium based on prompts that gives you glimpses in, not only into my mind, but into pieces of some of the IP that is coming out. Also, as always, made possible by the Big Stompy Robots line of books and games. There's thrilling novels of heroics and terror, great games for blowing up your tabletops, a lot of fun, and more will be coming out of that in 2023, that being this year. Of course, The Simple Sword, my penultimate manual of defense, made to let anyone who's ever wanted to handle a sword be able to. I want you and everyone else to be able to have the weapon in your hands and be able to grow from it. So much so, my dear friends, that the Simple Sword, the Simple Spear, and the Fighting Axe, which I've jungled here, are also available with another volume hopefully out again in 2023. I have a very busy year. I'm shooting for 6 publications, which is a little lower than my attempts last year, but I need it to be a little more doable. So we will see. Hybrids, the RPG, is coming, folks. It really is. There's been technical glitches with Fund My Comic for quite some time, and we may be looking for an alternative source, but you can still get the quick play over on LukeStoneStudios.com for the best new modern RPG system out there that can be ported to your IP. We can talk more. I know the guy who makes it. Now, in other news related to that, I want to remind folks that I was talking about the problems with the OGL when it came out 20 years ago, and that 3 years ago, I did my part partnering with Luke Stone to get a new system out, which I have then ported to other people, including Joe D. McPhee. This whole ongoing debacle, and now we are in the cool down as people decide what this means and where they're going. Friends, I've been trying to walk this road for a very long time. So when I say I've got good games coming, good games are coming. It's just going to take me some time to get it done myself. So, because it's hard being a one-man band with a lot of things, and I'm increasingly reminded why I usually do that. So we're going to keep things together. We're going to hold things tight and make things better. Speaking of holding things tight, making things better, I've got some questions for you, dear friends. How do you deal with things that go wrong? How many of you collaborate? A lot of folks on here are one-stop shops. You know, you can go, they write their books, they edit their books, they publish their books, and they let it fly, usually through systems like Lulu or Amazon. I think I might be the last Amazon holdout in these parts, but right now it would be one more string of instability that I'm not quite ready to make. Although looking at my wall of post-it notes of the instabilities that I do need to deal with, I have a lot to do. So, now that all that's coming down the pipe, so to speak, I want to see what you guys are doing. How are you humping it this hump day? Are you getting the job done and blazing for the weekend? Do you have something in mind? Let's see where you are and where you stand. I'm going to hit the comments, folks, for the single best chat online anywhere, except maybe the Historical Fencing Guild. And there's enough crossover here where we can see some of the greatness. That being said, first through the door at 9:11. Good morning and happy hump day, my fine furry friends. That's right, Joe Bachman is joining us there, but not in the background. He must be working hard today. Hopefully everyone is not frozen to their seats this morning with how cold it is here in the Midwest. But if you are, the conversation this morning should help warm you up. And folks, if that won't warm you up, I'm sure we can come up with some other ways to generate a little bit of heat. Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Carl. And we're joined by Carl Witzman. And since Carl Witzman we had 2 commercials because we have Joe Bachman and Carl Witzman. We'll knock out through their chat a bit, and then I'll run one or both their commercials to make sure these fine men are represented. But before I do that, I do want to remind folks that the Love for the Hales GoFundMe is going on right now at www.gofundme.com/f/love for the Hales. And I will have some formatting discussion in the near future about my channel and a few other things, but that's coming down the pipe too. Good morning, Carl. Only 9 degrees F out here. That's what it was when I started. We're up to 13. Tried to temp one of the indoor cats in this morning, but even the cold temps couldn't tempt her from the porch. So freedom is greater than heat. Are you saying, sir, that those who would sacrifice liberty for safety deserve neither? Woo! Coming in spicy this morning. You got some libertarian cats out there? Anyhow, that's funny. That's funny. Hey, Joe Witchman, dude. Donna Sassy Gal. Oh, and that's Donna coming in the house. So everything's getting good and smooth and warm. Morning, folks. Not sure how long I'll be on today. Work issues because one of the directors doesn't understand things take time to be created and edited. Well, Richie, I hope you can take it one step at a time. And I hope you're not getting too much on your plate, brother. You need anything, you reach out to me. Or many of the other people. Because right now, you guys have a really good support network. It's almost like this group is made to be a network to hold each other together. If I were out in 9-degree weather, so I'd be smacking a policeman to get warm and in jail. Hey, Rich. Been there, done that. So let's run, since Joe was first through the door. Joe gets the first ad. And get ready for a bit of nostalgia when you hear that sweet, sweet, the song of my people.
Hey guys, this is Joe Bachman with Behind the Code. I will be streaming live Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central Time on the Independent Creators Directory YouTube channel and also the Independent Creators Directory Facebook group. You can join me on my journey of creating new apps and also updating websites. Hope to see you there and have a great day.
Yep, be sure to support Joe Bachman because he's doing great stuff. And while we're knocking these out, I want to get our own Uncle Carl Witzman's rather unique ad out of the way so that we can have our chill in the morning. So then we can maybe warm up. Second there, but we're getting through it, and we're right back into the chat. Let me see. I stopped at 9:23. There we are, and Donna's greeting Rich. Good mornings. Carl's about to get something to eat. Rich Asplin, you mean you just can't punch a few keys on the keyboard and have Something magically appear completed for the director? No, you have to type very fast. Sometimes two people on the same keyboard. Haven't you watched any hacking shows? Hack the world! What up, lovies? What up, Mike Jimmy? Mike Jimmy is the creator, the man behind Life on Korra. Possibly one of the coolest elements of world building I have ever seen in many, many moods of loving sci-fi and science fantasy. Because yes, science fantasy is a thing. I love Life on Korra, not just because Benville is best boy. And if you don't know, you will soon. But, God, that's almost t-shirt worthy. I would never do that because Mike Jimmy's, I would never use Mike Jimmy's IP without, him profiting, because that's what good people do. Anyhow, Chris, Joe Dog, Lowe's, and myself had a wonderful first talk about our stay in the U.S. for HoloCon. Now just let the year get here. Yeah, we're planning. Mike Jimmy, I'm hoping to see you at HoloCon. We have to find out what's needed to do that. This is going to be an incredibly expensive year for the Tockerts because we've got excitement. We're trying to see if we can get in for the ALA in Chicago, the American Library Association conference. Oh, guys, I'm going to tell you, the vendor hall there is the holy grail of nerddom, geekdom, and bibliophilia. I mean, it is gorgeous. And not to put too fine a head on it, if you are an intelligent male looking for an intelligent female of our species, or possibly even intelligent males, I will say the numbers are about 10-1. The library convention is very well populated, and I may be hoping to convince my youngest brother to go there and mingle, because there are wonders to behold in librarians of every shape, size, color, nationality, build, orientation. Oh my gosh. It is so comforting to be around that many like-minded individuals. But now it's so tragic that I did not get to go during the time I was formerly a librarian. But it is coming to Chicago. The vendor passes are outstandingly expensive. But there are ways, and we're hoping those ways work, because I really want to get to go. And if we can, cool. If we can't, well, then Mandy will get to go and have a good time, because we'll find a way to make sure that she can go. Because that was a life-changing kind of scenario. It's just that good. Hey, Mike. And we need a commercial for Donna's wonderful stuff. And thank you for being on our show recently, Donna. You were a wonderful guest. Mike Jimmy, accountability, continuing to work on indiecd.org. The Burning is Love will be streaming tonight, 7 p.m. Central Time, doing more research on how to properly update the existing BSR apps. Oh my gosh. Folks, if you saw Behind the Code, I opened my mouth, friends. It's my fault. I opened my mouth. Joe Bachman is running behind the bar and asked for an egg in my beer. This is an old expression. No, I don't drink. No, I haven't. No, I haven't hopped off the wagon. I know some people will freak. It's just an old expression, probably an old family expression, but those of you who know. No, I asked something, and suddenly the code for a project that he's talking about doing, which is putting a army builder function. So, when you have multiple units in Big Stompy Robots, everybody agrees to a total cost. So usually it's about 500 points or 500 credits. And that's the amount of money you have to buy for the use of the game the units from the 9 basic. And then you pick which ones you have to best fit your strategy. Joe's trying to make it possible where everyone can do that by just putting in how many you need and then clicking your units, and it'll tick down how much you have. I'm really, really excited to see this version of that. So thank you for your hard work, Joe. Carl Witzman. Hey, Mike Jimmy Lowe's. Good morning, Mike Jimmy. My girlfriend. If you check out the 24-hour challenge this weekend, you'll definitely see her. Oh, my. Now, there's nothing I love more than a bit of behind the scenes shipping and enjoyment. And speaking of enjoyment, let's just knock this out right now.
If there was any other way, I'd consider it.
Let's do it then.
Whoops, that's the short one. This is the long.
Are you absolutely sure about this, Toyvin?
Absolutely certain, Oxen. If there was any other way, I'd consider it.
Let's do it then.
The stones are stable. Follow my lead.
So, what do you know about the Aquanids?
I'll tell you later.
The Aquanids live on Korra, so let's watch the. I am so excited. I am stupid excited to see the premiere for that. Life is so good. I love the Life on Korra universe, and it's just so delicious. It really is. But with all that said, let's keep hopping and popping down the comments. Woohoo! Let's see. There we go. Woohoo! I knew where the woohoo was. Will there be a link for that here? Morning, Joe. Sorry, haven't been able to get back with you for the stuff with Indie CD. Life's been hectic here. Maybe we can help that out a little bit and get you at least a placeholder set up. Mike Jimmy, yes, sirree. Update. There will be a new sign for the green room, courtesy of Joe Bachman. It's going to be a green gradient, isn't it? It's that thought alone almost got the dreaded double-handed face palm. Let's see. And what's this? This Saturday from 2 a.m. Eastern Time to 8 a.m. Central. Oh, at 2 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central European Time. Taking a guess at that. On Indie Comics Network, making a new Life on Korra story in 24 hours. Oh, you beast! You magnificent monster! Mike Jimmy knocking it out. I love folks who are willing to go out there and challenge each other to awesomeness. It's all good, MJ. LDB, your spot is waiting for you whenever you can have a chance to send it. And if you want to be the first to read it yourself, back Life on Korra Volume 1 on Kickstarter. Kickstarter.com/project/fairies-and-end/life-on-korra-volume-1. Sees the power cable swinging back and forth. Calvin! Carl Woodsman. Awesome! Glad it finally made its way over to Illinois. I probably could have had it sent via pigeon quicker than USPS, LOL. Did I miss a message? Nope, that went flying out of nowhere. So we'll figure out. Bookmark 24-hour challenge before Calvin could disconnect me. Our mailman defeats Ring.com camera by moving very slowly. He's a freaking ninja. And bit.ly/Donna Carlene. Thanks, Witzman. Dude! Mark, show explicit content to see all her books. Wicked grin. Wait a second, Donna. I love you, but I don't think I've ever seen you not grin wickedly. I mean, when you grin, it's usually wicked. And this is somebody whose best friend aspires to live in a house on chicken legs. To get 10% off any Lulu title, use refresh 10. Hex yes. Oh, and hopefully more products will be uploaded to https://theburningIslove.com soon. To just need to find time to burn them now that I've got more wall hooks in. Hey, you know the deal. Custom art. You just reach out. It's yours. Morning, dawn. Here comes the dawn. Doobie. Good morning, Dawn. I really need to hop for a minute before the show gets really going. I'll be back in a minute. That's okay. Hey, Dawn, that means I'm only a half hour behind. Dawn, Joe, Donna, Carl. Oh, there you are. Hey, Michaela, how you doing? Everybody's greeting Michaela coming in the house, because she does. She sachets in like she owns the place, plops on the corner of the table, and starts humming tunes that take you back to that bar with no name that you learned the passcode to enter in a card game. Man, I could hear the music start now. Boom, ba-doom, 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 boom. Anyway, watched a show last night where the lady's cat took down her background. Remind me of the Historical Fencing Guild on Friday nights. Yep. Which you, Michaela, LOL. All of y'all's. Aha! All y'all's. See? That is a variant of a rare nickism. Although that's usually a bad sign when I say all y'all. Now I do this. That means my dreaded ghetto button has been pushed. I try to contain it, but every once in a while. How do I take care of things that go wrong? I swear and curse loudly, then fix it. My responsibility means I get it done. See, that's what I like about Mike Jimmy. The buck stops right there. I have never heard Mike Jimmy not take responsibility for a problem, even if it's not his responsibility. That's impressive. Morning, Kayla. Michaela says, I'm in my desk chair, staring at a screen of words. I made it through my first round of edits and Warrior Secrets. The second round will be Creeper. Wow, that's how I felt. Then on to the next Vela episode. Morning, Joe. Show some love for the Hales. That's why I'm running it instead of promoting myself on the tablet. GoFundMe.com/F/love for the Hales. Good job, McJimmy. Donnie, I oopsied yesterday and got excited and overdid it. Last night sucked. However, back at them today. Hey, we got to do that. Sometimes we all push a little too hard and come crashing down. You know what? It's a good point to stop, because yesterday was, I don't work on Tuesdays. I popped in for a couple light conversations with Luke, but I spend Tuesdays with my kid, start to finish. We played Connect 4. We worked on some stuff together. We watched some educational programming and talked about it. It was a great day. You have to have downtime. And you have to have register time. And you have to block off. You have to start having your boundaries, both for work and for play and for the people you associate with. This is something that of late has been kind of driven into me last couple. We have to establish boundaries. And if people can't respect those boundaries, they don't need to be in your life. Well, what about family? What about friends? What about business? What about work? Did I stutter? No, because if you give your health away, slaving for a bunch of people who may or may not appreciate you, they don't deserve it. Okay? Now, I got my family, my wife, my son. I look after my younger brother because he's down here a little bit. He's very capable. He is incredibly, and he's helping me more than I help him. But you got to set your circles up, folks. Set your circles. I have my found family out here, and you guys know who you are. But there are folks who will try to intentionally or unintentionally siphon the joy out of your life. And they don't deserve anything. They don't deserve it. You know, leeches need to be burnt off. And if we get excited and we have to crash, friends, that is necessary. We need to stop taking the step of breath, the step of rest as anything more important, because you can't work if you don't rest. And I'm going to say this again because that's something I've been talking to some people in the background. There's some folks I know who are dealing with some pretty heavy emotional things. Some people are dealing with the backlash for heavy things not being emotional. It's the time of year where folks end up dealing with a bit of loss again. You have to steadfast hold your time. Okay? So don't be afraid to do that. And don't ever feel bad, especially you, Dawn, because you make sense to me. Because, you know, there are reasons why you have limited energy. And because you're fast becoming one of my people, I'm protective. And I will just go old grumpy Nick on people. No, you need to hydrate. You need to rest when you need to. And the other thing is, I found out something, folks. I want attention. Woo! I don't normally like, bring in. What I was watching some stuff. I looked at what is the most dangerous thing that somebody in their 40s can do. It's sit down. The more time we spend sitting, the less happy we are, the less healthy we are. We have to get up consistently. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run one of my long ads. And I want you to listen to it. It's a good ad, but I also want you all to take a stretch break. I'm deadly serious. Get up, stretch your shoulders, stretch your hips, stretch your legs. Be careful. Don't hurt yourself. But, look off at something longer distance than the screen for a bit. Listen to the ad. Just take a breather, okay? Because I know there's enough volume in this ad for you guys to hear what's going on. It's long enough to give everybody a stretch break. I want to start doing that at the half-hour mark of just about every show I do. And I'm going to run a really good ad, and I want you guys to just take a couple minutes and breathe. Huge shout out to Mr. Dan Hollifield, not only for making incredible sci-fi for decades, hosting at Fillion, the literal fertile breeding ground, the shallow waters of creatives that's producing many, many high-level published authors, but for making those wonderful gems. Yes, Dan Hollifield is one of the greatest musicians that the world does not know or appreciate. And if I ever get a big Stompy Robots project going that I want to, I'm going to reach out to him for some of the soundtrack, because that man knows tunes. Now, I hope you all did get your stretching, because I want to keep you alive. I want to keep you active. I want to keep you creating. And it's hard for those of us who have to, because you have to do in what my boy Luke calls butt time. Your butt has to be in the chair. You have to be drawing. That's why I've started doing at least a weekly art time with Nick. There may be more as my availability comes out, and I have some projects that I need to knock out of the park. And it's always good to do so. Further, there are a couple of wonderful pictures that have been up both on my Deviant art account, www.nichtockert.com. It's where you can find all my links. But www.deviantart.com/NickT has been my home for 20 years online, which is why I'm paying the relatively big bucks. I'm getting pinged because I'm broadcasting, and folks always ping me when I broadcast. Okay, now let's see where we are. So you take it easy, Dawn. I need to get some go-go juice or some good vitamins. I'm dragging today, but I'm doing it. I love the vitamin B infused Mio knockoff that Walmart puts out. I live off of this stuff. I don't have caffeine, and yet this stuff keeps me going. Now, I used to, back in the bad old days, have my patented go/recovery juice, which was a mix of lemon lime Gatorade, Mountain Dew, and extra caffeine and vanilla squirts from Speedway. I used to hit that on my darkest days. However, that's kind of like drinking unicorn blood in that it keeps you alive, but it comes at a price. It's a joke, Xander. It's a Harry Potter reference. That ad creeps me out. Yes, it does. Got a banana? Actually, bananas are great. They're high in potassium. I need to get some of those. And go ahead, be pervy about it. I fear not. Is that a euphemism, Dawn? Actually, not this time. We should get you a shirt that said, with Benville is best boy on it. Mike, Jimmy, you're amazing. We love some. Poor Benville. And those of you who know, and those of you who don't, you really need to, because life on Korra is pretty neat. Yeah, it is. Hey, Frog G in the house. Hold on, I haven't got to run his ad in forever. Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a way. Yeah. You know I be on the way. Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on the way. Yeah, it's all hard, ain't no fear here. You ain't giving this to all, you steer clear. Never beat, I've been down and I reappear. You got some money on the line, you better put it here. Rolling in and doing that work. Every once in a while, I like to bring out the classics, run the originals, because while the animation in the other one is great, that is such a just go hard song that we need to hear it once in a while. I need to check what the heck my phone is exploding about. Okay. I see what is going on, and I am turning off the beeper. So that should help matters. All righty. Hey, let's see. Hey, Froggo, thanks. Hi, Frog. Frog's amazing. And we got Jody McPhee coming in. Morning, Nick. Morning. Hope all is well. Thank you, Nick. It was fun. Yes, that's what I want to hear. I want my guests to have fun. And now I did have some offers for guests. Some people wanted me to track down Amy Hale. And I think in my delirium, because I was not feeling very well, I didn't get that. I think Michaela might have wanted to be on the show. If she does, let me know and we can set it up for next week. But I want to make sure that I have time to prep commercials. Prep questions, because I do try to think of the questions even if I don't write them down, and make sure that certain things are ready for the longer format, because my guest shows always go much longer. If there is interest, guys, just reach out if you want to be on. I do prefer to have guests on Wednesdays because then I don't feel like I'm bumping into Nita and Daphne's morning programs, which I don't get to watch very often because a lot of their content is not Little Man safe. But I respect them as creators and and friends, so I try to give them as much space as I can. However, on Wednesdays, friends, I tend to get a little rowdy. And we got greetings for Joe. And Joe's accountability. Primetime Saturday night is number 4 is moving along. First match completed, and I need to finish rendering out in the last 3 pages. Awesome. Hi, Jody. Hopefully by next live stream, I will be working on the correct page numbers in the book. Still sketching from time to time in between creative and reviewing, and he is improving. I've seen it myself. Now, before we hop farther than that, let's hit and run Joe's ad, because it is the smoothest commercial in independent comics.
I am Joe D. McPhee. I am the host of From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher, and I want to cordially invite you to watch our show Saturdays at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. On our show, we will have different guests as well as talk about the comic book industry and pop culture. And every so often, I might actually do a drawing session or a 3D rendering session every here and there. So once again, I want to invite you to watch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher right here on the broadcast channel that you're looking at, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Hope to see you there, and make certain that you catch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks.
Yep. Joe's out there and he's doing it every week consistently, and I respect that. Gotta hop, need to take care of a few things. I'll see you all on Friday. Hey, you have a good one, Joe, but before you do, hit that like, share, and subscribe, because, folks, I am at war with the algorithm. So please like whatever venue you're watching this on, because I also need to figure out the majority of people are watching through YouTube. I may have to I may have to consider trimming off the other 2 at some point. Won't be able. Mike Jimmy says I won't be able to premiere that on HoloCon this year, with how much work is still left to do and me being a solo act. Sadly, that is tragic. That's actually kind of heartbreaking. I fully understand. But I was excited to see it. That's rough. But I understand being a solo act, and having been, I've done solo acts and done collaborative, and I don't know which I like better. We need to do a show talking about that. But right now, I think you guys need more of the standard chat analysis that we do and love here. Later, Joe. But Mike Jimmy, we love you. We understand. Accountability. My to-do list for Michaela is super exciting today. Ooh. See ya, Joe. Yes, it's a green gradient. Make it a football pitch. Well, better than a hand egg field. Hi, Donna, Carl, Dawn, Mike, Joe B, Frog G. Get the names out. Hi, Frog. Joe. Don, thanks for showing up Saturday. If you have any Daz Studio questions, feel free to ask. Daz Studio is Jody McPhee's specialty. Will do. It's quite interesting to see how things get done. Hi, Jody. Hi, Carl. Hi, Mike, Jimmy, Lorsha DeBron. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Donna. Everybody, get that. Frog is just dropping the names. Thank you, Frog. Hey, Frog, what's up, Sugar? Hey, Sugar. Man, I sound like my favorite goblin online. And if you know, you know. And if not, you should. Um, Love seeing Dawn's evil grin or her normal grin. Both Donna's grins are great. And I said Dawn because I pulled your name, but both of you could get into trouble. Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Didn't sleep well because I've been worried about Mooney. I fully understand that. You just take it easy, Grant, and welcome to the show. Hey, Grant, hugs to Mooney and you. Hi, Grant. Hey, Grant. Love to Mooney, everyone else too. Hey, everybody's getting greetings going on, so I'm just going to... Deadline for your local comic shop to order copies of Beowulf is tomorrow, so if you're stopping in there today, mention it to them. I do hope that works for you. I don't have a local anything. My nearest comic shop is an hour and a half away, and my preferred comic shop is about 2 hours away. But I only get to see them maybe once or twice a year. So I will mention that. But, I'm not, I don't, blah. But I think you guys should where you can. Hopefully we'll find out soon how many comic stores ordered Beowulf #1. And what we're talking about Beowulf #1, we probably should run that ad. So we'll run the ad for Beowulf.
Hazel always knew there was something special about her cat Mooney, but she's still shocked when Mooney opens his mouth to tell her he's just had a vision. An ancient evil has awoken after centuries of sleep, and only one man can stop it, the legendary warrior Beowulf. Unfortunately, it's been over 1,000 years since he slayed a dragon, and he's been reincarnated as this guy. His name is Victor, and he's more unemployed millennial slacker than mighty warrior.
Yes, folks. Beowulf is a wonderful fantasy adventure from one of my favorite pieces of literature. And it's just neat to see the juxtaposition of old, ancient fantasy tropes in a modern setting. It's one of my jams. I hope you enjoy it. Cursed by a voodoo princess, Jeremiah must undertake a quest by death itself and kill a god to win back his humanity and the woman he loves. Frog G, Voodoo Gods and Magic. IGG at FrogGVGMX235. I'm sorry, 2305 7903 pound. Oh, yeah. If you're up for it, I'll totally join you too. Oh, okay, cool. That long ad for Dan Hollifield is exactly the time I needed to need my next fresh bread. And yes, Dan's soundtrack for the Life on Korra intro too. It's Chef's Kiss. And guys, we need that. We need to. I'm worried about your health. I'm worried about my health. I'm doing things about it. Hopefully, today is February 1st, which means tonight I should get my first dose of the med I haven't had in a few weeks, which should, we'll see. There may be some rather unpleasant side effects from the gap, but it's going to be one day at a time. It means I'm very hopeful for the immediate future and hopeful for what we can do together to make things better. 10 watching, only 7 likes. You know who you are. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. Please, guys, get this out there because I am trying to fight. Not for me. I mean, I could get my own stuff out there, I guess. I've lurked around the interwebs for a few dozen years. But I want to see you guys succeed. I want to see you guys hit the stratosphere. I want the mighty Manatee Man's flippers of justice to just pap you right up into the stratosphere. That's what I want. And just for Just FYI, because I can't premiere it this year means I'll have to come back later to still do it properly. Love you, Mike Jimmy. Hey, Mike Jimmy. Reads Mike Jimmy's post. Not the green room. Need my fresh bread sounds like innuendo. Honestly, bread sounds good right now. We need to get some sourdough going. Hi, Johnny freaking Cage, one of my favorite artists. We just need to get somebody paying him to do art because he's just that amazing. Hey, Johnny. F sakes, guys, I'm literally making fresh bread here. Oh, I understand. My wife makes some killer sourdough, and now I'm wanting sourdough. And now I'm wondering about making sourdough pasties. Lamau, Donna's evil grin is very pretty. Duma's evil grin is where you better pray for mercy when she gets there. I like them both. Hey, look, just because a shark wants to bite you doesn't mean it doesn't have sleek lines. You know what I'm saying? It is pretty, isn't it, Joe? I get to see it all the time. You lucky dog. Hey, Johnny. Been thinking. I know a lot of people in the NTF community complain about health problems. Maybe we should do some type of accountability to check in with health things. Grant Lanker, that's brilliant. Asking not just what kind of work you're doing, but what are you doing to take care of yourself? Oh, yeah, I get it. I am all about some fresh homemade bread. What happened is my wife made the sourdough a couple of years before the whole lockdown hit. So, we were ready. That's what happens when two medieval recreationists get together. Even when we quit doing that, a lot of the old skills still kind of loom in the background. But she's like, it's pretty good bread. But what we realized is it's amazing pizza crust. Just it may have to do with the native yeast in the area, because just like when you do cheese or sourdough, it takes on a distinct flavor from where it's made. That's why Parmesan cheese is so expensive, because the only place to get it to work right, you have to be in the right biome, is this region in Italy to make real, true Parmesan. Sorry, I sold for a while. I sold artisan cheeses as part of one of my gigs, and I got kind of into it. And then I developed this stuff called cholesterol, so I don't get to be anymore. But I have a bit of fondness for some quality cheese. Anyway, just like that, sourdough made here will taste different than sourdough made elsewhere. And even if you start with the same yeast, it will eventually get kind of overpowered by the spores or whatever that are in the environment everywhere. Some people get wigged out, but I'm like, but it's so tasty, I don't care. I love when science is tasty. But just the stretch, and it made great pizza crust, and now I'm craving pizza. Thank you. Hi, Johnny. Yep. I've been doing the gym twice a week. I jog, walk a treadmill for 2 miles, and do some light weightlifting. Grattan, you may need a couple hours for my health issues. Also doing yoga on non-gym days. What I'm doing is buying new football boots and getting back in the game. Yes, my gift to myself for finally getting rid of college obligations. Congratulations on that. That's a huge deal. Paying off debts. I'm still heavily indebted. I shouldn't have been, but I was basically defrauded. It got shady fast. And I'd love to see you come. I don't think you knew me then, but I had a heart attack a little over a year ago. Been working on my diet and exercise since then. I did not know that I'm glad you're on the mend. We all are. And in my case, because I'll wade in, I carry a number of rather unique illnesses and injuries. My skeleton is slightly malformed, things like that. but I also have diabetic. I have peripheral neuropathy that may or may not be tied to my diabetes. In my hands, arms, feet, and legs. And I went through a period where I could not grab a pen. I couldn't close my hands farther than this. I actually, and I'm proud to say it because it's a great story, I completed my end of this book, the typing out of that, by literally grabbing two very large permanent markers and typing out like this, because I didn't know if I'd have that ability. As an artist, I went through about a year where I mechanically couldn't, and I've had to learn to relearn how to use my hands. Extensive, what they call occupational therapy for my hands. They want me in physical therapy for everything else, but right now I'm having some transport issues. So, health-wise, I drill either basic fencing or a variant of a martial art much like Tai Chi, but not quite, because it started as Tai Chi forms and then evolved to fit fencing. I don't really have a name for it, but I've spent ungodly years working on developing it. Extremely limited weights because I can have a very limited lifting capacity. My hands don't always work, so I have to work in the realm of very, very light weights, lots of reps in, well, short numbers and reps, many numbers of reps. 3 or 4, give it a break. 3 or 4, give it a break. You know, I actually use a 3-pound sledgehammer that I had to work up to get. I originally, when I started, and it's floating around here in my desk area somewhere, they told me I wouldn't be able to build up any strength in my hands. It would be a miracle if I get it. And when I got to the end of that, they gave me a squeezy, a little sponge I could squeeze. And I've had to build up from squeezing a sponge, which would be just exhausting. I still sometimes have to keep things moving. But that's what we're doing. So I work with Xander. I have stairs, so I do limited stairs. But because so much of it is on the building up from such a slow space, my efforts seem very slow. I will say that, and it's stupid, but since I've started getting up every half hour on the half hour and doing something, it is greatly and rapidly affecting my life. And once the meds get back, because a lot of it is I have a condition where basically my body literally takes sugar, makes it into fat, but can't unlock the fat. So, and it does it very rapidly. So for a while there, I would have to eat huge quantities to keep my blood sugar up, regardless of what the other meds did. And it means I'm lacking an enzyme. So what it meant was traditional weight loss mechanically did not work because I was essentially low blood sugar starving to death without the fat being unlocked. So that's what the new medicine I was on was doing. And it had all sorts of wonderful side effects of suddenly I had a lot more blood sugar to work with. And during the insurance switch, I was switched to an insurance that did not support it, and my medicine is about $1,000 a month. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, $1,000 a month without insurance. And now I am much better because the insurance is kicking back up. So hopefully, once I go through the side effects, and brother, are there some side effects, and sister, I should be back on the path of doing better. And that's all we can do is work to do better. I'll have more information probably Friday. Now, let's see. going to amend. Oh, we don't pay here. I'm getting out of college itself. Well, hey, either way, congratulations. I scooped the litter boxes. Does that count? Hey, that is something I can't do right now because I'm not supposed to do a lot of bending over. So certain cleaning, certain things like scooping a litter box, aside from massive allergies, would not be something I could do. So yeah, that counts. You're bending. It's a start. Sometimes you gotta start small, folks. Now I did actually yesterday have a short practice with Alexander, my son. We actually did a little bit of very, very careful because he's both a minor and autistic. So things have to be handled appropriately. But basic fencing with the polypropylene rapiers, which are very light. They are incredibly safe. And they are going to become my standard weapon for instruction. They're just a little difficult to get a hold of right now. I wish the price would drop in about half. That would make life so much better for me, but we'll see. So just working at that. Great workout. Once the weather breaks and the ice is gone, I'll start going for my long, slow walks again. But winter is not good on some of my other conditions. So we're getting there. And that's okay. We're all about building up. Johnny, because, I mean, we pay taxes, more taxes than anybody, but tuition itself is free of charge on the best universities. I don't mind paying taxes when I get something out of it. The problem is we pay a lot of taxes and then we don't get the services. I think content creator lifestyle tends to poor health. You're sitting around drawing all day instead of moving around. You tend to grab something quick to eat, usually unhealthy. You know what? There is some real truth to that. I eat my healthy oatmeal, but I had to eat a Pop-Tart, which wasn't so healthy. We're getting there. That's cool, Johnny. Yeah, that's cool, Johnny. I'm okay with paying taxes if we get more out of it. I feel like other countries get way more out of their taxes than the U.S. I agree. I wish it was good. Most of our money is pretty much stolen. No wonder two biggest corruption schemes ever happened down here. A person earning minimum wage here works 6 months out. Wow. That's pretty rough. Good morning, Blue Teddy. How are you? Blue, are you planning to do any new videos on your YouTube channel anytime soon? Because I'd love to see it. You do such wonderful art. And folks, subscribe to Blue Teddy. Watch her stuff. There's a bit of time, but the backlog's worth it. Yeah, we're doing really good. We're talking about projects. We're running ads. We're doing what we do here, building people up, and that's what I want to see you guys do. But yeah, I'd like to hear about the people who do collaborative versus one-man shops. Because, like, Mike Jimmy's an interesting case. Animation-wise, he's one-man shop. Life on Coral-wise, he is very, very collaborative. So hearing about that is fascinating. Nick, I'm late. Oh, no. Have you taken a test, Glenn? Is it a boy or a girl? No, Glenn, how are you? Now, one of my things, and yes, folks, please remember to like. I want to get you guys sharing your skill sets with others. Okay, we're all out here working to make what we do possible. But when you have achieved a certain level of skill, especially like someone like Glenn Fleming, I would love to see him do a series of videos. And I know it would mean taking time out of his incredibly busy schedule. But, this is how the professionals use the Ames lettering guide. This is how layouts work in the old school. This is how the inks work. Because as we fight AI as artists, having the original backups, that's going to help. I find the AI subject conflicting because I can see both overall, not AI art, but overall the options of it being powerful for building up humanity, and it could spawn a new lifestyle for us. I also fully think we may be building our replacements, and the line between man and machine will, if we hope to have any continued existence, likely blend quite a bit. It is fascinating to think about, but it has to be done ethically and carefully. And AI art, I believe, is theft. I'm going to say it. I believe the people who are using that as the art itself don't deserve credit. It's a compilation of prompts that scan the art of others from whom it was taken without consent. Now, if they wanted to start over, do a new algorithm with completely fact-checkable lines of consent, I would respect it more. But right now, it's just blatant theft. Let's see. Oh, that's right, Blue Teddy. Because you're having to work all that overshift. I completely spaced it. I'm just so eager for your creativity that sometimes reality goes boink. I'm a bad fan, and I apologize, but I do support what you're doing. And let's see if we can't find ways to monetize your work better, so that maybe you don't have to work so much. I would love to see the hashtag Bring Cookie Home not just represent Cookie. And I have to talk to Brian about this because I don't want to overstep. But I think everybody who's an artist who's doing the work should be able to be paid enough to do the work and not have to slave elsewhere. And I was reading Glenn. I collaborate when I get hired. My own stuff, I don't want nobody else touching. I don't want anybody else touching. I feel that way too. I've done more collaboration with Luke Stone than I have with anybody in my business history. Wow. Even more than with Ben Starkey. May he rest in peace. But it has taught me things. Now, I've done collaboration with a lot of, contract collaboration. We want you to do this for me. Because of what I do, it takes a lot of collaboration. So working with folks like Jody McVie or with T Bunny and Buddy Lord. But yeah. I have IPs I'm willing to share. I have IPs I'm willing to sacrifice. And I have IPs that ain't nobody touching but me. And I find when people start to understand what's going on with Big Stompy Robots and what this really is right here. It's already 2 novels, 2 versions, a couple apps deep. This is a real intellectual property with video game potential, animation potential, certainly a toy line potential. This could be huge with the right situation. But I've also found that everybody who wants to collaborate wants a piece of that. And it takes a lot. Like, I understand that Hybrids is Luke's baby. And what I've done with it, I've done with the highest respect to see how it goes. Now, Luke and I have collaborated with the Paul Bunyan Kaiju Slayer to see how that goes. And it's an educational thing. That's me testing the waters, folks. And we'll see how we do. I check and I watch and I pay attention to how people work with others. One of my big things is how people act online. Hi! And then when the camera's off and they're in back rooms. And a lot of people I find, I'm not speaking of Luke Stone. Luke Stone, bless his black little heart, is what you see is what you get. He's just on a villain arc right now. And I'm trying to keep him from going too villainous. We shall see. But some other folks I see very much are on screen, they're one person, off screen, they're another. And I watch for that. I don't like that. That's why I don't deal with some people who are very popular in the community. That's why I step back from some chances that could have gotten me a whole lot more exposure. And that's why I think we need to be careful. And I may not promote as many. Let me put it this way. I won't promote everybody who comes through my door. And if they share a link and they're civil enough, as long as they follow rules of civility, absolutely, you can share a link on here. Now, whether I choose to promote it more than you could share a link on here, well, that depends on interrelation and what my gut says. And I think that's fair. Ooh. You're rewriting your book, reworking. Do I change the ending, or would that upset the readers? That is a real minefield. I don't know. Ooh, that is a real minefield to be walking into, Michaela. I think you don't want to. From what I've seen, and if there's one thing I know, it's how fast fans can go toxic. I like Star Wars. And while I'm not toxic about it, a lot of other people can be. Like, my God. I would, if you're reworking it, hopefully it's mostly additive and, more flavor. Whenever you change something, the fans of it will biologically not like it. It's the nature of people. But I would not change the ending unless you have a very good reason, because that rarely is received well. AI stands for artistic ineptitude. Yes. And it is interesting because I have a friend who swears by AI. Because through health issues, they lost the ability to physically draw forever. Due to extreme health issues, according to them. In that case, it's a little different, but you're still prompting. I'm sorry. And I hate to break the guy's heart, and I've upset him a couple times, and that's okay. He can be upset. It's not the same. Yeah, and that's where I'm going to stand on that one. For the art. Now, AI as a program, as a system that can possibly help humanity and robots and stuff, yes, it has an absolute dark side, and yes, that dark side will manifest. It already has. Certain foreign governments are heavily invested into doing that without the kind of fail-safes that the American government has. That's a whole nother thing. That being said, I believe that the human capacity for conception is bigger than the human capacity for actualization. And I think with proper AI, if it's coded ethically and hard-coded ethically, we got to do better than Asimov's 3 laws of robotics. But it's dicey, but it can be good. I also see it as an inevitable. But AI art from like Midjourney is a different discussion. That isn't true AI. That is, currently anyway, a program that takes the image, fuzzes it, and reconstructs it from the fuzz. And it uses logic to reconstruct the image from the fuzz. So it's more a randomizer, de-randomizer. And the images that it selects are compiled, and they are from basically a huge store of images that they acquired without artistic consent, knowledge, or compensation. So that's theft. But I don't want to go too far into that subject because that's it. AI will be the death of us all. Literal death, I mean. I don't think so. I and the reason I say this is, as much and as wonderful as computers are, I spent so much time around them that their inherent fragility is still there. And programming that writes itself will go viral, but I mean, you think about it, a virus basically kills its support system. It's not sustainable, and then it has to go dormant. So I see that. We're also due for a major set of solar flares anyway, so it will be real interesting to see what systems hold up after, between that and some of the volcanic activity. We are due for some pretty cataclysmic stuff in the geological scale. So we need to be smarter than we're being, and we're getting caught up by distractions, both as a people and on the show. Will that have an effect on the sequels, Michaela? Worries? No, not changing it that way, Carl. Just changing it. No worries. Nice to know you're excited to see more from me. And yeah, I'd like to figure out monetization soon, if I can. LOL. Well, you're in the right place. There are a lot of people who are doing the same sets of things. I'm working on it too. So let's all work together. And I hate to say find ways that we can all make money, but I think that's something that needs to be leaned into too for a while. Sigh of relief. Need to hop later on. Bye, Frog. Blue Teddy, LOL. And Frog leaves, and Agent Zero Studios, shortened to Agent Zero, jumps in. Hi. Don't mind me. I'm just lurking while I work. You are always welcome to lurk, Agent Zero. You are a great guy. I love our conversations. Be sure to hit that like button, Agent Zero. I see it both ways, Michaela. It will make it a true reason to get the updated version, but your fans came back because they loved the secret once they put it down when done. Yeah. Unfortunately, that could be taken as a bit of a money grab. Hi, Agent Zero, Blue Teddy. What's up? Thanks, Don. I took out an entire chapter for the publisher at the end to satisfy the word count guru. Now, that's a different situation. You don't have to like the medium someone else is doing. Doesn't mean you have to disrespect it. And that's a good point. That's why I try to find a balance. But the problem is AI is less like a medium and more like a commission. And there is a tendency for people to commission artists and authors. I mean, this is literally why ghostwriting exists. And have them make something, then say, I made this. I have very strong opinions on ghostwriting. I think it's parasitic. I do think that there's some people who it's almost symbiotic in that it's financially symbiotic and emotionally, credit-wise, a whole lot of other things parasitic. And I don't see it as a positive thing. But that's why I don't count AI as a medium. But at the same time, I can rationally see that the results are very tempting, but I see the tragedy both in the loss of the individual art that could be created and the loss of the growth of the artist that would come from creating it. Because I believe I'm in the business of building people up. And sometimes what's better for a person is not the short win. It's not the easy out. It's the long term. And that's why we have to balance out. Is this working? Is this not? In a lot of things. And here's the free Ashcan 10-page review for Chrome Dog #1. I need to come back to get that. Zero, can you please DM me that on like Twitter or something? Because the irony of this show is because of the format I use, I can't access my own links that get collected through here without going back through YouTube. Michaela J., just tell the story the way which works for you. Fan service is great, but we should be fans of our own work and happy with our art. Craft. Agent Zero, thank you. I originally wrote it because it's a book I personally want to read. Then just say, yeah. Well said, Dawn. Just my opinion, but change of the story is a huge no-no. Don't do AI as a medium. This is deep. And we get deep. Money grab, maybe a bit. I have marketing mind. You do. And the problem with that is right now we have a lot of examples of what happens when a corporation makes a big money grab and it fails. Because it's very easy to go from supporting the story and making the best product to rewriting the canon as an excuse to make money. And that always causes turmoil and issue. Now, if it's this is original, dicey, but I like to give, a lot of times I don't give the easy positive possibilities because most people can picture the easy positive possibilities. There are some negative ones that have to be tracked. And that could isolate your fan base and cost you some respect. And that doesn't come back. Look at what happened with WotC. Look at what happened with the way the Star Wars Disney trilogy was received by a lot of the fans. Now, it may not be a problem, but it is something to keep floating in mind. And like I said, it's my job to be voice of reason, devil's advocate, because I believe it's Michaela's story. She can do whatever the heck she wants. She could wake up and say, well, I've decided the problem with Warrior Secret is it's not in space. And it's her story. But it's also my job to see tactical and situational threats. That's what I teach people. That's what I perceive. It's threat analysis is sort of ingrained in a lot of what I do, and covertly teaching that to others so that they're safer, because I have the desire to protect and elevate everyone. I do not have the capacity to do that. So, since I want to protect everyone, and I physically can't, I mentally can't, I know a man has got to know his limitations. What I can do, I find, is research and acquire and perceive threats in hopes of warning others so that they may protect themselves, as I can't protect them all. And believe it or not, it is a tremendous hit on my pride, because I want to be able to protect people. I want to be able to keep everyone safe. And I'm just not main character enough to do it. So I got to try to find a way to hold out till the heroes arrive. And that mentality is where I live. So what do? I try to level up everybody I can. I try to teach them to keep their head on a swivel so that they can see the threats that are incoming, teach rational thought, promote rational thought so that you can take the choices. And because I have the curse of the gift of seeing red team applications, seeing what the bad guy would do, I say that stuff. It's not the world I want. The world I perceive is rarely the world I want for anybody. And it's because I don't think I would never want someone to be as afraid as I am. I would never want people to be as angry as I am sometimes. And I certainly would love to live in a world where the vast majority of my skill sets of helping people who are hurting and, seeing what the bad guy's going to do before the bad guy does it are obsolete. Ironically, my greatest fear and my greatest goal are the same. I would love to be obsolete. I'm terrified of being obsolete, but I also would love to be obsolete because that means everybody's safe and that there isn't a wolf knocking at the door. But sadly, in one way or another, there usually is a wolf knocking at the door. And sadly, very often, people are not as safe as they think, myself included. So you have to do the best to balance these forces out. And this goes beyond, this is beneath, but you make games. Yeah, I make games that have tactical elements and thinking elements. Games that are fun, but still flex the little gray cells. I write worlds where, it's like the importance of fantasy is not that it tells us dragons exist, it tells us that they can be beaten. And that's what I lay into. That's where I create. And that's what I want. And unfortunately, sometimes suggesting the smart thing or especially the right thing, the honorable thing, is rarely profitable. It's like it's a universal constant. Man has honor, to paraphrase because I'll misquote Walter Lippmann. If he holds to his ideals in the face of it being uncomfortable, unprofitable, or dangerous to do so. And that's real close. It's not quite accurate, but for me, it's pretty good. And that's what I try to do. Bet you guys didn't expect that bit of logic into the show. For this, AI, in my opinion, is not a medium. Good. Like Dash Studio is a medium. You're posing the characters. You're manipulating things. He paid for the license to use the character builds that he then overlays it, poses it, and uses it. That's a tool set. That's just like any number of digital medias. There are many brushes that put buildings down. But you're picking the buildings. You're putting it down. You're doing the choices. And it's part of something with other drawn choices. That's media. I don't design the fonts I use when I type, usually. I have designed fonts, and I intend to do some more. But I still write the story. Well, fine friends, cats will be demanding their food. Have a good day. You too, Carl. My comment was from that Nick Van vocalized. AI art is a process and not a medium. It's like any algorithm that makes decisions. What's the best means to do a task? And we got greetings. We got DM'd on FB. Thank you. I couldn't remember if we were on FB. Carl, my kids are both passed out on top of the respective towers. Okay. I see threats, and I raise my sword and plunge forth. No, you know what? Guys, I've been saying it for years. Even though I use practice swords, I literally cut my world out of my life out of the ether around me, out of the world around me. I cut my chunk of the world with the edge of training swords. The sword brought me health. It brought me confidence. It brought me healing. It brought me perspective. It led me to my wife. It led me to being an author. It led me to my friends. I have used the sword to heal and help and elevate and defend, and the skills have saved my life. So yes, I know there are many a meme out there about the fedora wearing milady neckbeard fella. I studied the blade, but did you? Did they? Or are they playing at it? So yeah, I there's nothing wrong. Nothing with that. See, threats are, man, that's tip of the spear stuff. And I grew up around dangerous people like that. Nick plays in my mind Warriors in Space announced like pigs. Okay, I can do this. Pigs. Warriors in Space. Kitty's lunchtime later on. See ya. Nevermore the Furthermore. Yeah. I don't get this fear because of AI. Don't look at it, don't use it, don't acknowledge it, and it will die. Okay. We have to be careful. The AI artwork is being used. And turning your back on a thing will not make it go away, and it will not cause the problem. You live your life, but you stay aware of it. Artificial intelligence is being developed. It is being used. Algorithms dictate huge portions of our life. It's estimated a third of what we read is actually AI generated already. It's real, and it will have lasting implications. I believe that, I'm going to get a little meta here, but true artificial intelligence is the child of the human race. And how we raise that will determine how we are remembered. Because just like empires rise and empires fall, species rise and species fall. I also believe it interesting that we were around 200,000 years and we only had technology that would be measurable. What, this last 2,000 or 3,000? Okay, maybe 5,000. Give me 5,000. That's still mathematically at 2.5%. Really, monkeys with this big a brain walking around only had this level of technology once. I don't buy it. It's a personal thing. It just, the math doesn't add up. So I'm not sure. Rise, fall, rebuild. Humanity's an interesting breed. And I have faith in us, but I also know we tend to be real dumb. Nick, why aren't you working? Oh, okay. AI and art. Now, AI and art, absolutely. You can. That's when you can choose. You just ignore it. It won't die because it's too popular. Not enough of us are ignoring it. So it's just going to be real. And it will affect more and more people who try to go through traditional means to get jobs because it's profitable and it's controllable and business loves that. Now, Nick, why aren't you working for filmmakers to help people learn techniques for movies, TV, and such? I don't have those kind of connections. I am looking for people with that. Oh, are you talking about sword fighting? Are you talking about as a fight choreography? I've done a little bit of that for plays and things, but right now my physical ailments and my son's requirements keep me from working outside of the home. At some point, I would love to do more like that. Oh yeah, I agree. I agree that that's how it should be, Glenn. But I'm going to say that the genie is already out of the bottle on that one, and enough people will just don't care. I'm going to hardlines, stand against it, but at the same time, I'm going to know it's going to happen. So I think in terms of how do I work around it as an option. And believe it or not, it gives people like you more credit, more appeal. There's an opportunity for anachronistic art forms to rise in popularity, because it's not. You just have to watch the trends and see how they overlap with what you do. Will not use. I agree. We won't. The problem is because it's demonstrated that it can be used without artist consent, and has been established as operating without artist consent. And I bet that's how the laws are going to go in the long run about it. Businesses will. Maybe not now, but it's too easy. It's too plug and play. It's like auto-tune. Sorry, my executive producer had something to say. But that's okay, guys. And, we've got a good conversation going, so I'll go a little longer. This is why you diversify. This is why you tell your stories, because you will be competing with AI art at some point. And there's one trick. I will tell you a great trick. Okay. At the end of the day, if you want your stuff to succeed, there is a great trick. Do the work. Just get better. In the ancient words of those who came before us and those who've walked the hard and extreme difficulties of many a game, get good. Honestly, accept create constructive criticism, analyze it, and if you can profit from it, deploy it. Know your techniques. Go to the basics of whatever it is you do and build back up, because every time you go through that cycle of going to the basics and building back up, at the end of it, you are much better than you were before in ways you wouldn't imagine. That is the path to mastery. Mastery is not a destination. It is a journey. Much like goodness is not a destination, it is a journey. Honor is not a destination, it is a journey. These things that matter, faith is not a destination, it's a journey. Hope, love. These things people think are, well, once I get this, I'll be happy. Once I get that, it's not the destination. You have to find joy and peace and purpose in the journey, because we are not sedimentary people. Now, it's been a while since I've ran an ad, and I need to stretch my leg a little bit, so I'm going to run an ad. Let me find one I haven't run. Oh, I know who I'm going to run.
Greetings, fellow traveler. I am Dankard Lexicon. You're either here because somebody directed you here, or because of the strange currents inside the algorithm. In either case, welcome to Radio Retro Future, where we talk about steampunk and other forms of retrofuturism in pop culture. What is steampunk? Well, I'm glad you asked. Steampunk is a combination of science fiction and alternate history, wrapped in a delicious dough of Victorian pulp fiction and modern-day pop culture tropes. You still want to know more? Go check out our ongoing Steampunk Beginner's Guide, the series which explores the genre, aesthetic and culture. Or you can check out the community's musicians, inner teledrama, steampunk music for Fallout. Yes, a actual steampunk-themed radio station for the game Fallout 4 that is part of the mod Old World Radio 2. Or you can check out the Radio Retro Future podcast, where we have interviews with writers and other types of creators within the international community. On our second channel, the Retro Future Research Foundation, on the other hand, we have story videos like Tales of the SCP Foundation, readings of Lovecraft and related writers, lore explanation, and hopefully our very own narrated series of our original short stories called The Association of Ishtar. If you can't wait for the narrations, you can read The Association of Ishtar by following the link down below. That is what we do in a nutshell, and if you want to get involved, join our Discord community where stuff happens. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna bid you adieu, and as always, make things your way.
Hi, folks. Sorry, I literally got up to do my little walk around and stretch my legs and check on Xander. Let's get back to the comments because there's some good comments in here still. Glenn says, everybody thinks they can sing. The so-called talent shows prove they cannot. Pick up the pencil, guys. That's right. And I'm going to tell you some other things. I look at modern, for example, I look at modern comics. I read a lot of books. I ingest media. I watch the shows that are written, and I go, the writing is inferior to that of my independent friends. And I mean that wholeheartedly. So the question is, you're doing better. What do they have that you don't? Figure out and do it. But keep creating. Keep putting, like we said earlier, butt time. You got to have your butt in the chair. You just got to get up every half hour or so to stretch because you are not a machine. You are a living biological organism. And get out and live. You know, they joke, touch grass. No, touching grass is vital. See the world. Right now, it is very, very cold where I am. It was 9 degrees when I started the show. I don't really want to look out there. But I'm going to go out at some point, and I will feel very cold, painful air on my face because at least I want to check my mailbox, get some sun, look out across the lovely fields of middle of nowhere, Indiana, and go, huh. Because at the end of the day, for all our fussing, I'm going to step out, and there will be some birds singing at some point. Probably not today. They've got the sound doing. My goofy cats who are recovering, they did all have their surgery, and I'm giving lots of time for them to recover and get used to being home and let the testosterone levels drop a bit because they were scrappy. I'll also let poor Dusty heal up. He's got some extra wounds. I'm going to cuddle my cats. I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to hang out with my son. I'm going to live my life and do so without regret. There should be no regret in working and no regret in stopping and going, I have done my work for the day. I can move on. Okay? But I agree. Pick up that pencil. Draw. And even if you can't, there's so-and-so. You figure something, the big comic artists of the people who draw may theoretically be the top 99 percentile. Don't worry about it if you can't get there. If you are in the top 80 and your art is banger, live there, work on it, keep knocking it out. I see comics that are making money that the art looks like it was done by a middle schooler. Sometimes it's deliberate because it's catering. Sometimes it's they really think they're that good. Do it. Write your stories. Build your games. Do whatever it is that you do. And promote it best you can. I'm not going to lie and say the world isn't stacked against you, but that's part of what makes what we do so heroic. Heard there was a case the other day where someone was told they don't have the legal right to monetize AI art. Haven't had a chance to look into it, though. What I've heard thus far is it can't be copywritten. So you could make money, but there is literally nothing stopping somebody from taking it and selling it and making money off of it, too. It's very interesting. Watch the laws around it. I think legally a lot of it will turn around and bite people in the butt, at least in the near future. But if you do your own work, you don't have to worry about it. So, folks, let's get out there and let's do the work. We're about 15 minutes from noon. So let's throw, at least where I am, let's throw an ad out. I haven't thrown an ad in a while. And let's promote Cindy because she hasn't been able to make it. So let's run Cindy's. Maybe. Yeah, City Koepp does amazing stuff, and I really hope you guys all support CKOEPP.com. Get her newsletter, find out what she's up to, because she's always going to conventions at QuadCons. QuadCityCon.com. She's got her Animal Eye stuff, which is all through Bear Publications at bearpublications.com. There's merch for her Animal Eye stuff at bit.ly/bearpub, and her artist Roll Cruise has a subscribestar.com/Roll Cruise. That her colorist is on DeviantArt, www.deviantart.com/TheRaider05, I believe. I'm pulling the links she normally throws up out of my mind. I'm trying to be helpful for her because she helps so many. And we're going to come up here, and I'm going to check the comments because we got a comment. Okay, we got a few comments. Well, either way, that's good. Companies aren't going to want to pay for art they can't copyright. Exactly. Might still get used for art that's not the final product, though. I've always thought concept artists are most threatened by AI job security-wise. Absolutely. And I will tell you, a lot of people are both using AI for concept art and feel safe doing so. There, especially in the comic book industry, there is a history of don't draw what you can trace. Don't what was it? Don't trace what you can copy. Don't copy what you can't steal. You know what I mean? Something like that. And there's some nefarious history there in some comic creators. Now, some of the greats, they just did the dang job. But It's interesting to see. Now, I say the best defense is a good offense. Make a better product. Do your best. And if it fails, figure out why. And if it's just not good enough, you accept that. You have to do something else. Or you accept that the level where it is. Because art in itself needs to exist. We need art. We need writing. We need stories. And I live in fear. We talk about the AI art a lot because it's in the menu. I'm more scared of the AI writing because that's easier to fool us. And AI can be used to manipulate news stories and hype so easily because it can run 24/7 just at, self-typing at the speed beyond what humans can do. That's when it gets scary to me. But when I see a wolf at the door, I do something about it. Sometimes you can get some meat to the wolf, and after time, domesticate it into a good old doggo. And that's my hope with most AI, is that it looks like a wolf now, but we'll domesticate it into a good old doggo who will help us. But we just want to make sure it doesn't bite the hand that feeds us. And while we look at all the stuff, that some people, don't let that make you stop creating. That's the trick. Please keep creating. Please keep putting paper and pencil together. Please keep building each other up, because that's what we're about. And you know who else is about that? Let me see if I can find that.
Hi, this is Kat. During the school year, I'm Mrs. Rothermel. But otherwise, I'm Rock and Roll Art Goddess, writing about my past and filming the present. I need you to join my Rock and Roll Art army and to check out my merch on Zazzle.com. What started out as journal therapy is now 4 books, I see, and an Instagram account to blow off steam, becoming a book, with another to do the same. A short film for a friend. No, this is not the end. Peace, love, and let me art.
Yeah, let Kat art, folks. Kat Rothermel's an incredible creator. She's an incredible woman, and she's an incredible teacher. So I know she's done her time building folks up. So I'm going to do everything in my power to build her up. We need that. We need wholesome. We need positive. At some point, I want to do a show, and I don't know how to quite phrase it, but I want to do a show where all I'm doing is building up the folks that I use or have used in the past. What I mean, listing off folks, like obviously as a kid, I watched Bob Ross. Bob Ross, is why I paint the way I do, both digitally and real. I learned so much watching him. It's why I do time lapses and why Art Time with Nick is kind of formatted the way it is. Mark, God, I lost his last name. It was The Secret City with Mark, and I can't think of his last name. It just fell off my mind, but he's an amazing artist. And I learned the basics of cartooning from him on PBS. PBS helped shape me a lot. YouTube kind of has become the new Wild West PBS for a lot of people. If you want to improve your art, if you want to see good art, and right now I'm working on art because it's simpler than writing to talk about the methodologies. You need to look at shows like Drawfee. They can get a little spicy, and they're very democratic. They're New York Eastern politics, if that offends some people, because in some circles it will. You have to decide like it or lump it, but you can learn a lot, especially from their educational draw streams. There is a little, my son loves watching her, a little VTuber named Honey Goblin, who's a little goblin, a little cartoon goblin, who is doing an amazing art series for basic folks on how to do art. It's very, very good. And if you can get past the format, there's a lot to learn. For writing, my God, there are venues. The best one I'd say is start with Brian K. Morris. Follow Brian K. Morris. He talks about writing a lot. I'd like to see him talk about more in the writing techniques. Bain has some wonderful discussions with authors and creatives for their stuff. I mean, like folks like Larry Correia shows up regular. I'm a sucker for TED Talks. There's a TED Talks for nearly any subject, and you can learn so much so fast that it's very good. I'm still looking for good OBS stuff because I have not even dabbled in it, but it's on the road. If you want to learn coding, if only my dear friend Joe Bachman had a program that's talking about how he's doing it. It's not quite the education format. It's more, this is live how I do it. But maybe we can get him to do a book. I'm still pressuring my boy Luke Stone to do more tutorials, although he has some good ones up already. And, Comics the Luke Stone way needs to happen. I'm bugging him about it. Jimmy Lorsha DeBron's Hung on Animation is an incredible series where he's learning how to animate and set up the things for Life on Cora Live through Clip Studio Paint. These are great resources. Get on YouTube, type in what you want to learn. If you have a little bit of money, there are programs like things like Nebula, which is a wonderful documentary series, and their master classes. We have access to all the information in the world. I don't understand why anybody bothers with standard format TV anymore. I'll stream stuff once in a while, but I like to be able to hop on and learn stuff and do stuff and find stuff out and get it presented by people who know, people like us. I will continue to strive to get guests who want to come on this program and share not just what they do, but what they know. This will never be a shill show. I will never turn this into here's this Kickstarter and you need to go through tier by tier. That's not who I am. That's not what I do. There are others who do that. I'll promote stuff, but I want to hear the writers. I want to hear what makes the creators do what they do. See, we got a few comments while I was prattling. Mark Brunette is a favorite art teacher on YouTube. His videos are okay, but his live stream critiques are gold. TED Talks takes on an entirely different meaning when your SO is named Ted. Oh, Shills, I'm not saying anything bad about Shills. Nita, my love. No, I'm just saying I don't do it because there are other people who do it better. I'm trying to stay in my lane. I also go tomorrow on Nerd Bacon, which at one point or another switches over to Shills randomly. Everybody knows it. But this is Nita over at the Indie Comics Network, whom I love, who I don't normally get to see. No, seriously, Shills are boring. They can be. They can be if they're not talking about more than this is how to read the thing, because they can be. That's why I like your format of talking to the people first, then getting into the program, and then going through it. But like for a while there, it looked like almost all my comics-based YouTubers were just going through the same. And this person is having a Kickstarter, and it's like I support everybody, but it starts to turn YouTube into QVC. Luke Stone Studios on YouTube.com. Indie Comics 6 Important Things to Know. Yes, that's on my to-view list. I just watched his thing on Clip Studio settings, and I'm actually trying to set up, because part of my personal thing is I want to do a graphic novel. I've wanted to do a graphic novel for a long time. I just have to pick which title. And that's one I want to do. So I am not going to say that's this year, but it is in the works. But you know what? You and Daphne are never boring. People can say what they want about Nita and Daphne. The content can get a little adult. It can get spicy as all heck, but they're never boring. Right? One second. Oh, Agent Zero says, speaking to Shilling, I'm planning a secret perk for Chrome Dog, which will be exclusively on certain streams when I chat as a mod, namely this one in Nerd Bacon, among others to be decided. Wonderful. Now, see, that's different. I love that. And I love watching people build their brand through serving the community. I will say this, and since I have Nita in, and Lord, I swear she gets around me, and like Louisiana hot sauce starts to just fill the air or something, because I have this horrible urge to be a little spicier. If all you do is pop up and like, here's my stuff, sell it, I'm not going to hold you in very high esteem. I'm sorry, even if your stuff is good. There are people who literally will message and demand that I run ads. They will be like, yes, I demand. No, none of my advertisers pay me except Joe Bachman. And Joe Bachman is a dear friend and a business partner. And one of the best men I have the privilege of knowing. And for me to say that about someone who's not a veteran says a lot, because I have certain biases. But, yeah. I do this for free. That's why sometimes I run out of time and some ads get thrown, some don't. But look, I'm plugging the Hales right now, have been the whole show. I may run her ad, I may not, just because it's a timing thing. But I'm doing my part to help somebody. But and yeah, also going to be trying to build Arrow Comics as a brand. Absolutely. Arrow Comics deserves to be built. It deserves to be recognized. What Luke Stone and Randy Zimmerman are doing, especially, and what you're doing, it's fascinating because it's not quite. There are a lot of folks out there that's self-serving, and I don't see that. It's about building the community. It's about telling good stories. It's about getting things out there. And if we're going to live in the comic book world for a while, conversationally, which we kind of have been, I think it deserves to be discussed. Lamau, I can't stand an entitled. Yeah, well, we still keep things. Thank you for the asterisks. Yeah, entitled jerks don't last long around me, and I won't give them a spotlight. I won't refuse them, but they will get zero special treatment. And I've had some people, well, why don't you push my stuff? Well, one, I don't know you. All I know is you push my stuff. Two, what I've seen is maybe you're rude, and I don't really care to cater to rude people. When my son was very, very young, he was throwing a tantrum. We were at Walmart, and he was throwing a tantrum. I think he wanted candy or something. I don't remember what he wanted. But I let him throw his tantrum. Walked on. We're checking out. He's throwing a tantrum. He's in the cart. He can't get anywhere. And this woman, just buy him the candy. And I looked this woman dead in the eye. Because I'd go out with Sandra by myself, and older women of a certain breed felt entitled to come and tell me how to parent. Well, because you're just babysitting. It's my kid. I'm never babysitting. I'm parenting. But just give him the candy. I do not negotiate with tantrums. If he wants to make a fool out of himself and act and yell like that, he's not hurting me. I'm not going to be shamed. He is a child. He is acting like a child. And that happens. It's my job to, but he's not going to get anything special for it because that would be rewarding bad behavior. And that's fine. No one is entitled to my time. I give it freely to people who treat me well and others well. That's when did, I am working on setting boundaries. And I would like to know when did saying, can we just be civil? I ask for, this is a PG kind of rated morning show. I don't like to do programs I would be uncomfortable with my son watching, or my mom watching, or a future employer watching. I try to keep a level of civility, a level of language. I fail sometimes, but I genuinely try. These boundaries have had screaming levels of argument in DMs from some people. And that's okay. Because then I know that about them. And then I don't promote their work. I don't promote them. If someone else promotes their work, I will acknowledge it because there are kind, loving people in my group who will throw the links at just about anybody that they see who's out there trying. Hey, bud. You okay?
I am.
Okay. Just saw you. And that's what I do. Because I want to reward the people who are trying, and especially those who may not be heard so well. I had to grow this external personality. I really did. If left to my own devices, I'd probably be wearing all muted clothing and avoid people in a very Walt Whitman kind of way. If I had the health to do it, trust me, the idea of going off grid and just chilling somewhere warm where I could swim every day, fish every day, and be left the heck alone is always going to be appealing to me. Because empathically, it can be a tremendous strain. But I love helping people. I love seeing a positive difference happen in their lives. And I am painfully called to it. So I want you guys, part of the health, we're going to talk about health and stuff because I'm going to have to call this to set up lunch both for Xander and me. But accountability. I want to know what you're doing. I want to know how you're taking care of yourself and how the boundaries you set up are holding. How are your walls? Do you need some help? Because I want to take care of the people who come to this chat. I want to take care of the people who watch this program. I want to help you get better educated. I want you to have a platform and be encouraged to have a platform to share what you've learned and what you've experienced. I want to see your stuff. I love that I get to see behind the scenes stuff. I love that I get to know about Agent Zero's baddie and to see as much of Chrome Dog as I've done. And that, my gosh, I still can't get over the people I know through, because I've met Nita and Daphne and them. I mean, it's just, I have to be careful to not get starstruck because there are some people who influenced me very heavily at different points in my life. And, in different media, we'll say. But, and all this is because of this guy right up here. I'm going to get it right there. Brian K. Morris changed my life. And he gave me what I consider a sacred duty to keep Nevermind the Furthermore as a place where you guys get education. You guys get entertainment. You guys get to share what you're doing and be supported for it. And my price through the door is civility. And I ask that not just for my own sanity, because, what's left of my sanity is something I prize, but for those I serve. And actually far more so for those I serve. So, guys, I want you guys, it's been over 2 hours. I need to make some lunch. I want you guys to get out there. I want you to create. And create fearlessly, create boldly, share it. If you have constructive criticism on things anybody's doing, myself included, politely reach out, usually in the DMs. My methodology, for example, is I will positive build up whenever possible in the public. Any critique I see that I think can be helped with is done as subtly as possible. in the private so that they have a chance to build up, so nobody sees how they got there. Because if I had my way, I would be running around in the background helping people and never be on front of the camera, but I can't do what I need to do and not be here. So, create, build each other up, be connected, guys. Reach out to everybody in this chat right today that I've seen go by. Every single person is an awesome creator. I'm stone dead serious. This is not pandering. This is not issues. Even people, Glenn and I will spar verbally one way or another, up one side, down the other. He's still one heck of an artist, a heck of a writer, brilliant man with a lot of perspectives. Never think that good-natured ribbing is not support. Johnny and I go rounds sometimes because he appeals to some of my more mischievous sides. Same thing. Nita Lanning is one of those people I want to pull to the forefront because she's amazing and few people seem to realize it. But the people who do are like, we love Zarnita, we feed her, we keep her. Nita's like the world's most punk guinea pig in a ball between a group set of creators who's like, we loves you. And Nita will get the levels of humor intended to that. And yes, I actually snorted there. I should apologize, but I won't. If you haven't liked this already, please like this, please share it, please subscribe it. Meh, she's okay. Meh. I know. LOL, I know, right? Yeah. I have a list of people who don't know how awesome they are. Many of them are in the chat. Some usually are. Cindy Cap has no clue how awesome she is. She just doesn't know it. Anita Lanning, love her. Sharp as a whip. Well-traveled in many a way. We disagree on a few things. Sure, that's what keeps conversation interesting. But for all her bravado, has no clue how awesome she is. And I say it behind her back, and I say it to her face, because that's how I roll. Blue Teddy is brilliant. I'd love to see more out of Blue Teddy. But she's got stuff. Dawn has impressed me. Michaela knows she's good, so I don't have to worry about Michaela. Jody knows he's good and is learning how to be better. I'm scrolling up. Donna. Yeah, Donna. We're going right through. Agent Zero, Justin K. Sweet is just a great guy. His art is amazing. Carl thinks he's retiring and really isn't. Because the world can't. Grant's doing good. Grant's right about where he should be. Grant is about as good as he thinks he is. And that's saying something. He's building up. He's getting out there. He's chasing the dream how he wants to chase it. And I respect that. These are all people. Freaking Mike Jimmy is a blessing upon the earth. And I don't care what anybody says about that. Frog is just a kind and incredible and creative and wonderful person. Look at these folks. So you go through my list. Joe Bachman is amazing. I mean, you want to talk an earth-shaking, wood-burning game designing. He works to benefit his town. He volunteers. You don't get much better than that. These are good people, folks. Brian K. Morris is amazing. Yeah, he had to step back for health and sanity and respect. And the mantle of Nevermind the Furthermore, wearing the fez, either metaphorically or literally, at times can feel like one of the heaviest burdens I've held because I need to do it right, but it's also one of my greatest honors. And he watches this show sometimes. The people you associate, the people you let in your circle build you up. Let's talk Luke Stone. I'll throw Luke Stone out here. There's a man who's been through everything. I've in the last 3 years as his partner, I've watched him just about unmade. Just about every single thing in his life has come destabilized except his lovely wife, Beth, who is awesome, and hybrids. And the fact that he is enduring, I respect. And the fact that we're going to have the game out soon. I don't know how yet. I got to walk on faith. But 3 years I've walked on faith. It will either succeed. But I will tell you this, if the game fails, and I mean just plummets to the ground, and doesn't make it through crowdfunding or whatever, and you know, business-wise things don't work, I have learned more from and through Luke Stone than a great many people. So, you know, like I always tell you guys, and I mean it, I don't lose very often at all. I either succeed or I learn. Very rarely do I lose. And taking that approach and being grateful will make you better. Yeah, facts about Luke right now. No, you're fine, Dawn. Let me go. Let me get back to where I am. Oh, I got mooches smooches. Love you, Blue Teddy. Crafting narrations is what I do, but the artist in my yet his manifest, but it's coming soon. Well, we'll keep working on it. And that's the thing. You don't have to be perfect if you're working on it. You just try to get better. Look at my artwork. You can. If you go to deviantart.com/Nick T. I started wrong because that's how it used to be referenced. I've been there so long they reorganized how they do their site tagging. You can see my work from when I started to now. You can see nearly 20 years of hard work to get where I am. I don't know if I've improved. I certainly changed. I think I've improved some. It's certainly more consistent. And it's there. If you dig around, you'll see some early comics I started to do based on a story I wrote. I may revisit and redo them from the ground up because I'm better than I was. But we learn. In me is yet to manifest. And if you want help working on that, I'll happily tell you what I know. I like in like gaming terms, I might be only a level 3 artist or whatever level. I can't get you to level 10, but I can help you get to level 3. Thank you, Nick. I'm listening but doing stuff as well. Hey, that's right. Facts about Luke. Yeah. Right now, Luke's trying tomorrow at 9 a.m. We're going to be doing Nerd Bacon. And he's in the middle of moving because what was supposed to be his house for a year, he got a 15-day eviction notice from the pastor that prayed over him when they thought he was dying. That level of betrayal. And what is he doing? Amid all that, he's still trying to promote the book. He's still trying to get my game out, our game. He's still trying to build things. That's impressive. Now, not everything has been hunky-dory, and there are some differences. And I'm not going to lie, a whole lot of my future plans will be determined by the success of that upcoming project because I sank so much into it. But yeah, you can't make this stuff up. You can't. But what I admire about Luke more than most people is he's not wallowing. He's not whining. He's doing what he can. Did he ask for help? Yes, that's what we should do, ask for help. But he's not whining. And he's not stopping. And that should be inspirational. Don't stop. Now, I do have to sign off because my voice is starting to go off. My son's pacing because he's waiting for me to make him a big old pot of noodles. So I'm going to make a big old pot of noodles if all goes well. And I have some stuff I need to do today for me. I may be shooting a video, if all goes well, a little later for the Historical Fencing Guild. Which, if it's shot, the link will go up to the patrons first. Because they rule. Other than that, folks, I want to thank you. I want to thank you all for being here. Yes, do it. It's the only way to go. Please like, share, and subscribe to this. If you ever have questions, feel free to DM me. The best way right now is through at Tockert. I'm having some trouble with Facebook. It's like Facebook is screening people. It's being very strange. So if I ever don't respond to you, try a different method, because I've got some weirdness there. And yeah, good day, Donnie. Thank you, Nick. My pleasure. Thanks for the stream. Have a lovely day, everyone. You too. You guys are great folks. Just get creating, get out there, because if you do it, you do the work. You can edit it, you can fix it, you can improve it, but you can't edit a blank page. I will see you next Friday for another episode of Nevermind the Furthermore.